Here's a great practical application question. This is the cost of renting a car. We're going to say the cost of renting a car for 1 day is $60. And then they're going to nail us 20 bucks for every 100 kilometers driven. So let's complete a table of values here. Well, I've got a table of values all set up for us, so I just want to talk about it instead. Think about this. Let's say we rent the car, but we don't go anywhere. We leave it in the parking lot. Guess what? They're still going to cost us, they're still going to charge us 60 bucks, whether we drive it or not. I've rented it, it's 60 bucks a day, there you go, pay the bill. But now let's say we go to a nice little trip and we go about 100 kilometers, which is out to probably about Ponoka or so. Okay, so we go 100 kilometers, great. How much is this going to, how did we come up with this $80 charge here? Well, think about it. It was $60 for the rental of the car plus $20 for the 100 kilometers driven. So that works out to be 80 bucks. Makes sense, doesn't it? Now, take a look at the next one. Let's say we drive just a little bit past Red Deer. Okay, so we drive a little bit past Red Deer. Guess what? They're still going to charge us 60 bucks plus $20 for every 100 kilometers. Well, look at this. I've driven 200 kilometers. So that means I'm going to be charged 40 bucks, giving me a cost of 100 bucks. See how it works? Look at the next one. Let's drive to, oh, I don't know, let's drive to Airdrie, which is about 300 kilometers away. So again, they're going to charge us 60 bucks plus, well, that's $300. So it's 20 for the first, 20 for the second, 20 for the third, which means an extra 60 bucks, which gives you a total of $120. Beautiful. Now I got a table of values. Let's graph it. Remember, these guys are manipulated or independent variables. Why? Because I'm the one deciding how far to drive. I can drive 0 or I can drive 300. It's up to me, and I decide how far we're going to drive this. This thing responds, the car rental company responds by charging you this amount of money. So our independent goes here, our dependent goes here. Let's start plotting. Well, there's 0 kilometers driven. That's going to take us 60. We're going to be charged 60 bucks. There's the 60 right there. Next one, I'm driving 100 kilometers, which is here. It's going to cost me 80, which is right there. Then I'm going to drive 200, and they're going to charge me 100 bucks, which is right here. I'm going to drive 300 kilometers, and guess what? There's 120. Now, here's my question. After plotting all these points, can I draw a line? Well, of course I can, because they'll charge you if you drive 50, even if you drive 10. So they'll charge you for all the points in between. And you've got a nice, beautiful, linear relationship. Look at how gorgeous that is. Okay, so let's go answer some of the questions down at the bottom here and see what this is all about. Look at what I did here. I asked you, how are these values chosen? I just chose them. I just chose them based on the $100, or I should say on the $20 per 100 kilometers. That's how I charge this. But look what I've done here. I've created a formula based on cost. Wait a second. Look at these numbers. I can see where I got the 60 from because look, every time I rented the car, it was 60 bucks. So that's my starting price. That's my initial amount. But I'm kind of curious, how did I get the 0.20 out of this mess? Okay, well, let's go. 0.20. I'm wondering, one thing that I did not calculate here is I did not calculate the slope. And look at this. This, of course, is positive because the more I drive, the more I pay. So I'm going to pick 2 points. I'm going to pick this point here, and I'm going to pick this point here. Okay? Look, there's my rise. And notice that these are all going up by 20s, 20, 40, 60, 80. So there's my rise, 20, 40. I went a rise of positive 40. Here's my run. Look at my run, which means I'm going by 50s. 50, there's 100. 150, there's 200. Look at that. My rise, which is 40, over my run, which is 200. And look at that. What's 40 over 200? Well, the cool thing is, and if you can't do this in your head and you want to use your calculator, go ahead. Here we go. 40 divided by 200 works out to be, look at this, 0.2. 0.2. And if you think about that, that's 0.2 what? Well, this is cost. That's cost over kilometers. Look at that. There's your per. This is $0.2 per kilometer, or not dollars, sorry, cents. That'd be 20 cents a kilometer. That's what you're paying to rent that vehicle. You're paying 20 cents for every kilometer that you are driving. And how do you get that? You get that from slope. So in fact, you have a beautiful formula here now that recognizes everything. Your cost is your rate, right? Which is 0.2, 20 cents per kilometer times the distance you traveled plus the $60 initial charge in order to rent the vehicle. Look how wonderful this is. So what could the slope represent in this situation? The amount of dollars you spend per kilometer driving that vehicle. What is the vertical intercept? What do we mean, vertical intercept? What are you talking vertical intercept? Think about it. That's your vertical. Intercept means where do you cut on the graph? That's $60. So in this case, think about this. The vertical intercept is $60, and what does it represent? That's your initial charge for renting the vehicle. And it's all summarized right here. Look how pretty this is. Your total cost is based on a rate, that's your slope, your M, and your initial charge right there. So it's a beautiful way of taking a graph, finding some information, and now you can apply this entire formula here to a variety of problems, which will really, really help you out.